But my first concert was I went with my mum to see Coldplay, I think in like
Okay.
2008,
Yeah.
when they played in Brisbane, and that was like revolutionary for me at that age. I was like still in I was probably like 11, I think.
Hmm.
So yeah, that was like definitely one of the moments where I was like, wow, wouldn't it be so cool to do this? So that was definitely, yeah, from a very young age, I've always like dreamt of being able to do that sort of things.
Welcome, everybody, to Casting for Two. The podcast is always hosted by me, Chris. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 553 of the podcast. Wonderful episode for you all today. Of course, if you want to keep up with everything that I'm doing, castingfor2.com is the perfect place to do that. All the socials are there, all the available spots where you can listen to the podcast are links to some merch, the Discord, the Twitch channel, castingfor2.com. It's where you want to be, really. Yeah, that's all I got. So I want to talk about my guest. My guest today is Eliza Klatt, and she literally puts the Eliza in Eliza and the Delusionals, and I don't know if I can express how much I loved this chat, loved chatting with the band. They have a new album that came out in July, Make It Feel Like the Garden, and I love this album. It's probably one of my all-time favorite albums, top album of 2024 for sure. But yeah, it was just so much fun chatting with Eliza, and they're wrapping up a US tour right now. Hopefully they get some more dates. I'd love to see them. But yeah, I need to stop talking because we need to get in this episode. You're going to hear my enthusiasm throughout the episode, so don't worry, people. But yes, so let's all sit back, relax, and Eliza, take it away. I'm excited for this chat for multiple reasons. One of which is, since there is that time difference between you and I, it's 11 p.m. my time, and the loopiness is coming out. I'm not total loopy, but it's starting to rear its head. So if this conversation goes weird, which I don't think it will, still I apologize in advance.
No, I appreciate you doing this at 2 o'clock because usually it's 2 o'clock my time,
Yeah.
but usually it's like, do you guys mind doing this at like 6:30 a.m.? And I'm like, sure. But yeah, so this is great. Thank you.
Of course, again, I was so excited when I heard that, oh, it's different time zones, so what time works. And I got out the calculator, I'm looking up the different time zones, what time, and I said, oh, okay, I don't mind doing it at night. So yeah, I'm good. Again, loopiness, who knows, but we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
We will see. But the first question I love asking people is when they catch the bug. And in your case, when did you get bit by that music bug?
Oh, that's a good question. One of my earliest memories, well, I've always loved music in different ways. Like when I was younger, I was a really big Avril Lavigne fan.
Mm,
She was probably the first like singer that I was like, oh my God, she's like so cool.
yeah.
That I like really looked up to. But my first concert was I went with my mum to see Coldplay, I think in like
Okay.
2008,
Yeah.
when they played in Brisbane, and that was like revolutionary for me at that age. I was like still in I was probably like 11, I think.
Hmm.
So yeah, that was like definitely one of the moments where I was like, wow, wouldn't it be so cool to do this? So that was definitely, yeah, from a very young age, I've always like dreamt of being able to do that sort of thing. So, and I'm 28 now, so it's been a long time.
Right. Well, so in 2008, I mean, yeah, Coldplay has a ton of wonderful albums, but they had, I forget the name of the album, but it was, their,
It was Viva La Vida.
yeah, there we
That's
go.
the tour that
Yes.
it was.
And
Yeah, yeah.
at that time, I was going to film school listening to that album so that it could get my creative juices a flowing in my head just for, because it's a beautiful album.
Yeah, it's amazing. They were like definitely the first band besides like what my dad and mum listened to.
Mm.
Like I grew up listening to like Led Zeppelin and Bad Company because of them. But like they were like the first band that I discovered and was like, I love this. And then from that, it sort of got me into like Radiohead and like other artists around that sort of thing. And yeah, so that was like really like they were a real pivotal band for me. And then the funny thing was that when Kurt and I started like being in the band together and writing songs together, he was like, my first concert was Coldplay. And I was like, mine was also Coldplay. So that was like a cool thing that we shared. So yeah.
It was like, you know what, we might be able to work together then. Okay.
Yeah. We both fuck with Coldplay. I think we can make it work.
Yeah, man. I love that. I and you know, when Avril Lavigne came out again, there was such a I don't know, her influence definitely was, I could see her influence on people because there were so many girls that I went to school with that were wearing like black polos and ties and all that and like skateboarding. And I'm just like, wonder if this has anything to do with that Avril. And of course it was. Yeah. Which
100%. That was definitely me. Except I was like I was probably like 10 and I had like, you know, I loved like the tie thing and like this, you know, like the baggy shorts and stuff. It was like such a mood back then. So yeah, she had like, it's cool to see her still touring.
Yeah.
Now. So, and still like having that cool look and stuff like that. I'll always really love and appreciate her, even though I don't like really like her music that much anymore. Like the first couple of albums, like I still put on to this day and really enjoy. So yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it. And I love that, you know, again, even though you've kind of, I don't want to say grown past her newer stuff, but you can still look back fondly at her older stuff. I think that's still pretty special.
And also like I love pop music as well. Like it's sort of just I love bands and I also just like love pop music, but I just couldn't really connect with like the new stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Is that because of your parents' musical influence on you, or was it just because you weren't, and no shade against anybody, but you just weren't really connecting with that, the newer stuff?
I think to be truthful, I feel like because her first, to me anyway, like the first couple of albums had like something. It just had like a intent. It had like a feeling to it. And then I loved the Girlfriend album. Like even though that was definitely a lot more like in the pop music, traditional pop music. Like I loved that. That was like, and the look and everything, like it was great. But yeah, I don't know, maybe it's just because I got older. I just like but I just feel like the newer music just didn't have like that like feeling and intent behind it. I don't know, it sounds funny to say, but it just didn't land with me. So
yeah. Again, nothing wrong with that. I definitely had a lot of feels going into your latest new album. And it was like feels on the good side. Definitely no bad feelings at all. Which I'll talk more. Yes, I'll talk more into, but I'll save that for later. But I'm just curious, when did you find the particular sound that you and the Delusionals came up with?
Yeah, I think like for this record, I feel like this is the sound that we've always wanted to be. Like this is the band that we've always wanted to be. I feel like we just had to go through everything else to get there. Like I feel like a lot of bands probably look back at their first releases and go like, what was I even thinking? Like, I don't even like that anymore. But like, you
Right.
kind of have to do that to get to what you actually want.
Right.
I feel like it's kind of a funny thing. And like, I feel like it also happens when you listen to other bands, like maybe their first couple of albums is like not like, or it sounds like one thing, and then you hear how it like evolves into the authenticity, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that really, a lot of that was really from our vision, and then working with our producer Oscar Dawson. Like he really brought that side of things to life as well, and we're just really open to like trying stuff and just seeing what would stick. And how we like try not to be too genre bound and think about it too much. Just think
Mm-hmm.
about like what we liked and if that was the right vibe for the song and for the album, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, no, it does. And, just kind of hearing that, were you, when you say that this new album has the sound that you were looking for, were you ever afraid to bring something to the table in the beginning when writing the album that was just like, I don't know, I'm not so sure what we can do with this, or did you have anything like that?
Yeah, I definitely think there's a couple of songs that like because Kurt and I did a lot of the demos when we were between tours. We were staying with some friends in Napa,
Mm-hmm.
and we had made this like in California. We made this like kind of makeshift studio, and we like sort of bunkered down, and we're doing as many songs as we can in 2 weeks before we have to get back on the road.
Yes.
And we kind of just did every song that was just coming out, we were just letting that happen. And then there were definitely a couple of ideas that made it as far as like a voice note. And then we
Mm-hmm.
just couldn't like, for example, Another You was one of those songs we were like,
Mm-hmm.
we kind of want this to be like really cool and bandy and like almost like War on Drugs. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we just love that sort of music. And then, but we just couldn't, the ideas that were happening at the time, it just wasn't vibing. And then I liked some things, Kurt liked other things, and we just sort of couldn't. We knew there was something about the song, like it was really just the lyrics in the chorus and like the melody that was there. We were like, this has like something about it.
Mm-hmm.
But um, when we took it, we decided to just leave it. And then when we took it to the studio with Oscar, we kind of said, look, this has been driving us crazy. We kind of just put it down. We want it to sound like this.
Yeah.
It was cool having like the fresh ears and eyes and like ideas. And also because he loves the war on drugs as well, he just like understood the assignment, and we were able to just bring that song to exactly how we wanted it. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like sometimes it's nice to have like a third person come in, like the producer come in and be like, yeah, I can see the vision, and like actually execute it and help us get through that like initial like ideas and attachments and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the clarity that you need. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. And was there, kind of again talking about the album, was there a song, kind of the flip side to that? Was there a song that just kind of felt like it came together just a little bit easier than the rest?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of songs that like probably more songs that were like that.
Mm,
Definitely a couple of like most of the songs had a few like little like structural changes
yeah.
or like, key changes, things like that. But honestly, like Falling For You was like pretty
Mm,
much the demo, like just with a few sections cut out and changed. And then we added the sax in the studio. And like Somebody, like those songs like that were like quite realized. Make It Feel Like the Garden, like didn't change that much. It just like,
mhm,
there was even some guitar moments and some like of the sampling and things like that that Kurt had done in our demos that we actually just kept in the actual songs because we were
mhm.
like, this is it.
Yeah.
Which was something that sort of we didn't do much with the first record. So it was cool that a lot of those ideas, like, and sometimes we would be like, oh, we love how this sounds. Like, Will She Know Today? We were like,
Mm,
this is a vibe. What if we took it in a different direction just to see? And then we just like be like, no, that's not it, and just bring it back to what it was. So we definitely
yeah.
like tried stuff, but honestly, because we felt so genuine and like so like this is us about a lot of the songs we were writing, a lot of
Mhm.
them didn't change much from the original idea. They just like expanded and evolved into what they ended up being. So yeah, which is cool.
Yeah, yeah, no. And again, like I was saying earlier, I listening to the album, I had so many good feels, and uh, I don't know the album, and I'm going to talk about the album from my point of view, if that's okay. I'm just like
Yeah, I love that.
the album to me, even though there are certain lyrics that are just like I love you even though I don't want to, stuff like that. I just feel like the album just to me drips with hope, and I don't know, I was feeling a little emotional, not gonna lie, listening to it, and I'm trying to keep it cool, but it's one of the reasons why I wanted to chat with you, because I love the hell out of this album, and it's
Thank
just
you.
yeah, no, I'm trying not to get emotional, because I just had a very emotional response listening to it from beginning to end. And I think a lot of that was based on lately the song, because I'm a huge Silver Sun Pickups fan, and
Yeah,
and Butch Vig. I mean, come on.
I know. That was
Yeah.
my reaction too. To be fair. So yeah.
Like, I don't know how you do a song like that and go, all right, moving on. I'd just be like, I'm done. We're done. One,
Yeah.
that's it. That's the pinnacle for me. Have a good day. And then you just clock
Yeah.
off.
Oh, 100%. Like, well, first of all, thank you for the kind words. And I'm glad that you were able to connect to the album in such a strong way. And like,
Yeah.
we kind of wanted everyone, we were hoping everyone would have found like a bit of like, I guess, euphoria
Yeah.
in the record in their own way. And that's sort of the response we've been getting from a lot of people, which is really nice that has like come, like it's everyone can sort of see that,
Yeah.
and have that. But yeah, that like the doing lately, like that was like, or we were also just like, this is easily like the coolest thing we've ever done. Like we
Yeah.
had already loved, we were like loving what we were writing just in terms of like the demos and stuff. We're like, we think this is going to be a really sick album. And then having that on top
Mhm.
was just like so sick. And Brian is just so, he's just such a great
Yes.
person. And
Yeah.
like, he was just so eager to be part of it, which, like we brought it up when we were on tour and we were like, this would be really cool. Cause like they've been such a staple part of our career, especially in the US and that sort of thing. And they've just been so great to us. And like we had the best time on tour with them. And I was like, this would be so sick. And Kurt and I were like, we should just definitely just ask him and see what he says. And he was like, no, I'm actually really keen. And we were like, all right, sick. Well, I guess we'll have to like write a song. And then we sort of had this idea that we wanted it to be like inspired by Silver Sun Pickups. We wanted it to be like, 2000 Silver Sun Pickups, like
Yes.
shoegaze, like that. So we needed it to be
Yes.
that energy. And I feel like we hadn't written a song like that either, but that's like something we love. Like we love music like that. And that was one we had written with Oscar as well in the studio, and we were kind of just like, we need to like write like a My Bloody Valentine Silver Sun Pickup song
Yeah.
that Brian can write a verse or something on and sing. And so we kind of had this like demo and like had the chorus and stuff, and then sent it over to him and he wrote his verse. And I just remember like when we listened to it, all of us was like, oh my God, this is like the coolest thing ever. Like literally just listening to the demo, we were just like, oh my God. And like the lyrics and everything, like,
Yeah.
and every time we'd listen to the mix and stuff, we would just like, you can't help but smile and be like,
Yes.
it doesn't matter what happens with this record. Like, this is so sick. Because I've been a fan of Silver Sun Pickup since I was like 15. So
Yes. Yeah.
definitely like such a cool moment for us. So I'm glad you also appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, yes. And is it one, I know you said that you had, a working relationship, but did you go to Brian and like, I have to give him notes, but I kind of can't because he is who he is? Or do you just go,
Yeah.
he's a person, we can talk to him?
Well, to be honest,
Yep.
we kind of went into it like, I totally get what you mean about that. And the answer is no, we didn't have to do any of that because we kind of went into it just being like, we kind of just want him to do what he thinks is right.
Yeah,
And it's like,
yeah.
whether or not that was like our vision for the song, we had done like our bit and we were just like, whatever Brian sends back is going to be it, because we just
Yeah.
I've been the brief was just like, just be you and be like, do what Brian would do, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And that's what it was, and he literally sent it back and we were like, perfect, we'd love. And then he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go to Butcher's house and record it. And we're like, yeah, no, like, of course.
Of
Why
course.
wouldn't
Yeah,
you?
of course. I mean,
So,
yeah, where else do you go? I
yeah.
mean, come on.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it was like so sick. And yeah, we just, no feedback except for we're obsessed with this. And then when he was like able to do the music video as well, like
Yeah.
when he just filmed it on his phone. We literally said just film it and do something like something Brian, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And then when our like videographer Tom, he's like, I'll put him in the TV, and then we saw the edit and we were like, oh my god, I'm actually deceased. Like, this is so sick. So yeah, it just like worked out really well, and I feel like and I was really keen to see how like my voice and Brian's voice would go like work together as well, because
Yeah.
like we've never had anyone feature on any of our music. So and the cool thing is as well about that song is like, if you listen in the first verse and first chorus, Kurt's actually singing on that as well, and that's the first time he's sung on our music. So that was like a cool little Easter egg there as well.
Yeah.
So the song just holds a lot for us as a
Yeah.
band, I think.
Oh no, it's definitely a loaded song in the best possible way. And were you were touring with them in the States?
Yeah. So a lot of that song wasn't written till we got back
Right.
from that tour, but we were doing like it was like 2 or 3 months across the US with them.
Was this was this early 2020?
No, but we
Okay.
did do that. That was the first tour when we first met them. And we did do like, we did a whole tour with them, and then obviously,
Yes.
what happened.
Yeah.
But then when we went back over for Bottle Rock in 2021, and we were just like, we saw them there because they were playing, and we caught up with them, and we're like, we're bringing out an album. We got a visa. Like, if you need a support band, like, let us know. And they actually did. So that was really sick. And then, yeah, just had the best time with them. That was like 2022. I think it was like October, November. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, because I remember, I mean, like, who doesn't remember 2020? But
Yeah.
I remember,
Unfortunately.
yes, but I remember like probably a ton of people. 2020 was going to be my year. I was going to get out there. I was going to hang out. And one of the things I was going to do was go see Silver Sun Pickups in Austin, Texas. And it was just one of those things that once news started hitting, I was just, oh no, I don't think I can do this. And then, yeah. And so I've been bummed by that ever since.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's fair enough. It was crazy. Like, I even remember before we left and stuff, like, because obviously, well, Kurt and I were in New York in 2019, and for like all of December, we were there just like hanging out, doing radio stuff, and then having Christmas and stuff. And it was all of the news and stuff. We're like,
Right.
we didn't really think too much about it, because that was
Right.
when we were getting ready to like come home, and then we were going in like a month after that back to do that tour. And like, I remember my mom making us like little like kits with like masks and hand sanitizer, and she's like, oh, just in case, like, you didn't even need them. But then
Right.
luckily she did, because when we were coming home, there was literally not a single mask or hand sanitizer in California. So it was handy. But yeah, it was, I feel like you just have to block that out and be like, it's all right, let's look forward. When's the next concert happening?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yes. Yeah. Let's just kind of, it happened, no, it's all unfortunate, but let's move forward. And I like that.
exactly. And hopefully you get to see them. I mean, I feel like they tour heaps, like so
Oh
much.
yeah.
So
For sure.
hopefully you get to see them sometime soon.
Well, hopefully I get to see the both of you. Because I would.
Yes.
So if I ever see you live, I'm going to be the person in the back bawling my eyes out, just to let you know. You'll know I'm there, because I'm just crying, and my girlfriend's just like, "What's going on?" And I'm just like, you don't even know. So that's my reaction.
It's okay. I'll be the person on stage crying, so
Perfect,
that's
perfect.
fine. We can share that moment together.
Perfect, perfect. And so before I let you go, I do like to ask a question, and it's not a heavy question, but it does tell me everything I need to know about you. So I guess it kind of is. But there's no right or wrong answers. I'm curious to you, what makes a perfect song?
Hmm. That is a big question. Because there's so many factors, but I
Mm-hmm.
just feel like a perfect song comes down to like it's all about the emotion
Mm,
to me, and it's like whether that doesn't have to be the lyrics or the guitar or the like it's just got to have like something, like a feeling to it, and it
mm,
has to make me feel something. Like it's kind of hard because that's so many ways. Like I feel like, for example, Pain by the War on Drugs is like a perfect song.
mm.
But then I also listen to something by like Pine Grove and I'm like, that's a perfect song. And then something from After Laughter by Paramore, I'm like, that's a perfect song. You know what I mean? Like they don't
Yeah.
have to sound the same, but it's like if it has that feeling, it has that weight, and it can like hit you in those spots,
Hmm.
then yeah, I feel like that's what that is.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Um, and so for the people at home who would like to keep up with everything that you're doing online, where can they do all that?
Yeah, so if you type in Eliza and the Delusionals pretty much anywhere, I feel like you'll find us. I know it's a long name. It's very easy to spell it wrong. But I feel like no one else is stupid enough to have a long name like that. So um if you do that, you'll find us on like Instagram, all of those fun things. And then we're coming to the US in just over a
Yes.
month actually with the front bottoms. So
Mm.
not doing the whole tour because a lot of people are like can't wait to see you here. I'm like, oh, we're not going there. So it's like kind of the middle part of the tour.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're really, really excited for that. So yeah.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Yeah. And I hope the tour goes well. And again, I want to thank you and the rest of the Delusionals for just making such a beautiful album. And I love it. And I'm going to be selfish and say I can't wait for more. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And I'll pass that on to Kurt and Ruby as well, because yeah, it really means a lot to us. And we're really glad that yourself and people have been connecting to the album in such a strong way. So yeah, thank you.
Of course, of course. But again, I'll let you go, and I'm so happy that you didn't lose any internet. So we good
I know
juju.
it's amazing. It's actually a first. I'm like blown away. I'm like, wow, so good.
So again, I'll hopefully that the juju stays around. But I'll let you go, and you have a wonderful rest of your day. Have a wonderful Avo. And
Thank you.
of course, and you keep staying safe and healthy, okay?
Thank you. You too. And have a good sleep. Thanks for
Thank you.
staying up late.
Yes, and I didn't get loopy, so yes, but it is time for sleep.
All right. Well, have a good night. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Of course, of course. Anytime you want to come back, just say the word.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye bye.
All right. Bye.